So our next speaker is going to talk about another disaster in the Trump White House. And I want to bring up Eleanor Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, New Mexico. I'm Eleanor Bravo. I am the Southwest Director of Food and Water Watch, and I have a few things to say about Scott Pruitt. Trump's cabinet picks are individuals who will be responsible for the policies and decisions that affect the lives and well-being of all Americans. They have a combined net worth of over $13 billion so far. 13! That's 5 times the net worth of President Obama's cabinet. 5 times, and more wealth than a third of American households. These are the wealthiest people in the United States. Who exactly is Trump's nominee to run the EPA? He's the Attorney General of the oil and gas intensive neighbor state of Oklahoma. His philosophy is summed up well in his own words, and I quote, "It should come as no surprise that I am working diligently with Oklahoma energy companies to fight the unlawful overreach of the EPA and other federal agencies." These are his own words. And now he is going to be running the EPA. It's no secret that Trump wants to abolish environmental protections, and he's found just the man to do it. Pruitt has already fought the EPA on fracking standards on behalf of the fossil fuel industry and has consistently stood for deregulating agricultural pollution. Pruitt has participated in efforts to combat the 17 state attorneys general standing up to Exxon's climate deception. He famously submitted a letter to the EPA drafted by Devon Energy questioning federal estimates of the amount of air pollution from gas drilling in his state, and he accused the agency's attempts to regulate fracking's impact on drinking water as being politically motivated. Frack off, you said it. Under Pruitt, EPA may very well ignore environmental pollution, and the effect will be more fracking, which is exactly what we do not need. He's also championed the interests of industrial agriculture in his state, supporting a dubious deregulatory right-to-farm initiative that residents rightly rejected at the ballot box this year. He has also sued the EPA over the waters of the U.S. rule that effectively strengthens the Clean Water Act. Senator Edward Markey, who has been active in environmental issues, said, quote, "Scott Pruitt would have EPA stand for every polluter's ally." Over the past 5 years, Pruitt has used his position as Oklahoma's top prosecutor to sue the EPA in a series of attempts to strip Americans of their rights to reduce mercury, arsenic, and other toxins from the air we breathe, cut smog that can cause asthma attacks, and protect wetlands and streams. Scott Pruitt has spent his political capital in attacking the environmental protections that EPA is charged with enforcing. He has built his political career by trying to undermine EPA's mission of environmental protection, and now he is poised to lead the agency that he has opposed. No, 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 no! We need and demand an EPA administrator who is guided by science, not by the wealthy. Yes. Someone who respects America's environmental laws and who values protecting the health and safety of all Americans ahead of the lobbying agenda of special interests. We are fortunate here in New Mexico, and we are confident that our senators, Tom Udall and Martin Heinrich, are listening to us. They know the real danger in weakening the EPA with an administrator like Pruitt, and we are here today to call upon them to lobby their colleagues in the Senate Tell the senators that they work with that this appointment must be opposed. Yes. Climate disaster is at our doorstep. The U.S. is the largest consumer of natural resources in the world. Individuals in this country cause 13 times the amount of ecological damage as individuals in developing countries. How can we, in all conscience, weaken any of our environmental protections? What will be our legacy to our children and our world if we let this happen? Right. Right. Yes. Yes. Come on. Okay. If confirmed, he will undoubtedly push to demolish the Clean Power Plan, which may have some protection by the Clean Water Act of 1970. This year is predicted to be the warmest on record in the history of recorded science, following a trend of rising temperatures over the past century. Scientists have warned that the U.S. and the rest of the world face unprecedented coastline inundation, extreme weather events, drought, and displacement of people if we do not address climate change. Pruitt has shown over and over again he'll carry water for the industry, but there won't be much clean water left if the EPA doesn't start standing up for communities instead of kowtowing to industry. Right. Senators, hear us. Don't let this appointment succeed. Do all in your power to preserve and protect our natural resources. Oppose Scott Pruitt for EPA Administrator. Yeah!